So, met up with a good mate of mine yesterday, David Rogers. Shout out to Dave, good man Dave. Dave contacted me and basically said, "Young for meeting up," and I said, "Yeah, cool." We had arranged to go for pints, but I said I'd show him my place of business, and we ended up. I gave him the tour around my place of work. We went and got a burger and chips, and we ended up going to the pub for a pint, which is a weird thing for me at least to go for just the one. And it was class. It was absolutely deadly. We did a good tour. The great thing about Dave was I walked him around the whole place. Every square inch of the place I showed him. And that was pretty new to me, because most people, the overwhelming majority of people, if not everybody, they come down, I kind of show them around, they're underwhelmed, and I don't really feel like they want to see the rest of it. So I just kind of go, "Cheers for coming out and seeing the place, lads. Let's go." And it's a bit soul destroying, to be perfectly honest with you, because I've put my heart and soul into this bloody thing, the business, like. And when somebody comes out and goes, "Oh yeah, that's where you grow this and that's where you grow that," and yeah, okay, right, yeah, and the forklift and the fridge, and okay, yeah. It's demoralising as fuck, to be perfectly honest with you. But Rogie was just all questions about everything. Like, he just couldn't get enough of the place. He, you know, and what does this do, and how does it get from here to there, and what's the crack like? And sure, I was just more than happy to tell him everything and anything about it. And it was just a lovely little reminder that just because you haven't got the reaction that you might want to get, doesn't mean that that reaction isn't out there to be gotten. And again, I've spoken about this before, this idea of an internal and external low-key evaluation, something I picked up off Blind Boy, one of my boyfriends. Check out the Blind Boy podcast. If you're reliant on what other people say and do about what it is that you're doing, you're kind of setting yourself up for a bit of a failure. You're far, far, far better off having, I suppose, the kind of the fortitude inside you to be, and the confidence and the security within yourself to kind of go, "Yeah, okay, that's not the reaction I was looking for, but you know," conscious of little ears in the room. But yeah, it was great showing Dave around, and it was great going for a bag of chips. Just like, you know, just the simplicity of it. And it's the whole sharing a meal thing. There's something kind of primitive about it. But in Ireland in particular, I think we have this habit of, you know, going for pints, and meeting up with your friends involves taxis, because, you know, you can't even have a pint anymore and drive. And, you know, fair enough or whatever, but a big turn off, and it's not even a turn off, but it's a giant obstacle. You know, how am I going to get home? Where am I going to leave the car? Will it be safe overnight? Do I have to put a ticket on it in the morning? How am I going to get back to it? I've got work in the morning. Blah, 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 blah. And for what? Like, you don't need to have a heap of pints to have a conversation with your mates. Now, look, we didn't have the bonding session that we would have had if there was 10 pints involved. But you don't need it. And I forgo drinking pints with Rogie forever. A good mate of mine, someone I love drinking pints with. I'd forgo drinking pints with Rogie forever and meet up with him twice a year like we did yesterday. No taxis, no expense either. Like, it's, as near as makes no difference, €6 a pint. And myself and Rogie had put 8 back easy enough. And then there's the taxi, and just the hassle and the hangover. And because it kind of takes you 2 or 3 days to recover, you're that bit less likely to kind of give the thumbs up the next time he says you're around for a few scoops from him. But I suppose, in closing, what the whole experience of meeting up with him yesterday told me, it was a couple of things. One, first and foremost, the value of meeting up with your mates. 2, that you don't have to go drinking every time you meet up with your mates. 3, you can meet up and have a good time with your friends without a big expense, a ball ache of getting the car the next morning or whatever it is, being hung over for a couple of days. And you can do it, you can set it up so that it is more likely to happen more regularly. Instead of going all out on a bender once every, 5 years. And I'm the better for it. really the better for it. I was kind of buzzing when I left this company because, again, he showed an interest in what it was that I was doing, and nobody before had shown that level of interest. And I suppose it's because, you know, he's a self-made man, he has his own business, and I must actually text him now. I'm going to text him now as soon as I get off this recording and just say, well, lad, pleasure having a chat with you yesterday. Any chance you bring me around the site that you're working on? So he has an earth-moving business, for want of a better term. He's a ground worker, I think, by trade. And I'd love to get a tour around the site and just see, because he'd be talking about power floating and digging out footpaths and laying foundations and all that. And I know a fair bit of that. I work in construction for many a year, so I have an idea what he's talking about. But I'd love to get a really, you know, I'd love to get a walk around the site so he shows me what his day-to-day is like. I think that'd be cool. And if anything has come out of the wash of this episode is, do what you can to encourage what you want to have more of. And I want to have more of meeting up with friends of mine like that, going for a bag of chips, no big commitment, no big expense, no big hangover. So I'm going to text Roger now, and I'm going to try and make a habit. Maybe I'll do that for Lent. Maybe I'll reach out for, maybe I'll see how many people I can meet up with during the 40 days and 40 nights of Lent, and see if that can add some kind of positive change into my life. Because I think that'd be cool. That'd be a cool challenge. Say hi, Keeves. And on that note, I'll chat to you soon.